Welcome to the Veiled Records, where the gods' darkest files are unveiled. The dead were never supposed to be stolen, because in Mictlan, once a body became bones, it belonged to the underworld forever. Deep beneath the world, below light, breath, and living footsteps, Mictlan held what was left of the ages before. This was the Aztec underworld, ruled by Quetzalcoatl, the skeletal lord of death, and beside him, Quetzalcoatl, queen of the dead. This is the story of humanity's creation from the side of the god who tried to stop it. Mictlan was not empty darkness. It was a kingdom of bones, silence, and endings. Every life eventually belonged there. Kings, warriors, farmers, mothers, children. No matter how loud their names were in the world above, death brought them down. And hidden in that underworld were the bones of the humans who lived before. They were not ordinary remains. They were the last pieces of earlier worlds that had already been destroyed. Quetzalcoatl guarded them because the dead belonged to him. Once something entered Mictlan, it was not meant to return to the surface. Then Quetzalcoatl came down. The feathered serpent god entered the land of the dead looking for the bones. He did not come for one soul. He came for the remains of an entire human race. Quetzalcoatl saw the danger immediately. If Quetzalcoatl took those bones, the gods above could rebuild humanity. New people would walk the earth, new voices would pray, new temples would rise. The world of the living would begin again, using what had been buried in the realm of death. So Quetzalcoatl set a test. He handed Quetzalcoatl a conch shell and told him to blow through it while circling the underworld. But the shell had no holes. It looked like a challenge, but it was really a trap. A god could be powerful and still fail at something impossible. Quetzalcoatl did not fail. He called worms to carve holes through the shell. Then bees entered it, and their buzzing carried sound through the hollow spaces. The dead kingdom heard the noise echo through Mictlan. The impossible shell had spoken. Quetzalcoatl had been outplayed in his own realm. He told Quetzalcoatl he could take the bones, but the Lord of Death had no intention of watching the underworld be robbed. As Quetzalcoatl gathered the remains, Quetzalcoatl changed his command. Stop him, servants of the underworld moved. The path back to the living world became a trap. Quetzalcoatl ordered a pit to be dug where Quetzalcoatl would run. Quetzalcoatl carried the bones through the darkness, holding the pieces of a future humanity in his hands. Then quails rushed out, sudden and chaotic, startling him in the underworld's path. He fell, the bones hit the ground and shattered. What had once been the remains of an earlier human race broke into pieces across the floor of Mictlan. Large bones, small bones, fragments scattered in the dark. For Quetzalcoatl, that moment should have ended it. The theft had failed. The dead had been broken, but Quetzalcoatl did not leave the bones behind. He gathered the shattered pieces and escaped with what he could carry. Mictlan had been robbed. The Lord of Death had lost the bones, but he had marked the new human race before it was even born. The bones were no longer whole. The future humanity would be shaped from broken remains stolen out of the underworld. Quetzalcoatl brought them back to Tamuanchan, the sacred place where the gods waited. There, the bones were handed to Quetzalcoatl, also called Quilastli. She ground them down until the remains of the dead became the substance of a new creation. But crushed bones could not live on their own. The gods needed to pay for life. So Quetzalcoatl pierced himself and let divine blood fall onto the ground bones. Other gods joined him, bleeding onto the remains until something impossible happened. The dead became living flesh again. Humanity returned. But this was not a clean beginning. The new people were made from stolen bones, shattered in the underworld, ground down by a goddess, and awakened by divine blood. From above, Quetzalcoatl could be called a savior. He brought mankind back. He gave the world people again. But from the throne of Mictlan, it looked different. Quetzalcoatl had broken into the kingdom of death, tricked its ruler, stolen what was buried there, and used it to build a race that would one day return to the same darkness. Because Quetzalcoatl still waited, every human born from those bones would live, breathe, build, love, fight, and pray. But no matter how far they walked from Mictlan, death still stood at the end of the road. Quetzalcoatl stole humanity from the underworld, but he did not defeat death. He only delayed the return. So was Quetzalcoatl a savior for rebuilding mankind, or a thief for stealing from the dead? Comment your answer and subscribe for more files from the darker side of mythology.